I won't lie, I've never been good at breakups, but dealing with heartbreak in your 30s, it hits completely different from when we were teenagers or in our early 20s, eagerly and excitedly ready to just find a rebound or distract ourselves with socializing with our friend groups. Either I don't make time for that or I literally just don't have time right now because, I'm a 32-year-old woman, I'm a single mom, and I'm literally just trying to strive financially. There's no just take a self-care day to make it better or to fix it. You still gotta show up for life. You gotta show up for your kids if you have them, like myself. And you gotta show up for yourself even when you feel like you're freaking drowning, right? It's been almost 8 months since my breakup. I know, get over it, right? Some days I feel fine. This week I've been great. This week's been good to me. I've been, I would say, emotionally stable. And other days it just comes in a whoosh out of nowhere, like these emotions, and I'm like, oh, get out, leave me alone, I want to be over it. But what I've started to realize is that some days I don't miss them. That's not what I'm missing. And that's what I want to talk to you about. Today, I want to get into how to move on, how to stop beating yourself up, and how to possibly maybe, just maybe, find gratitude in what this heartbreak is trying to teach you. So first, I want to go ahead and talk about the beginning of the end. This is the part or the timeline of the relationship where you may notice that things are coming to an end. At least now, looking back on the relationship, you may have started to feel anxious or uncertain, as if things are falling apart, right? Like maybe the person you were with has started to overreact to things that they normally wouldn't. Or maybe you don't feel like they care about something in ways that they normally would have. You may feel like you're powerless, like no matter what I do, this relationship can't be saved, And if you felt that way, or if you're feeling that way now, just know that you're not alone. Heartbreak is a season, and right now, you're in that season, and that's okay. In this season, I want you to remember to be kind to yourself. Speak positive things to yourself and eliminate the negative self-talk. It's so easy for us to blame ourselves. You think, oh, I wasn't good enough, or I'm unworthy, I'm unlovable, you don't like the way that you look. Maybe you thought you could have, if you're a woman, let me not do that. Let me not. Maybe you thought you could have cooked more. Maybe you thought you could have cleaned more. Maybe you thought you could have gifted more. And all of those things could have been true, but ultimately, it's most likely not the reason that, or the ultimate reason why the relationship ended. There's no need, to beat yourself up about losing someone that you loved. It's not gonna help. It's toxic to yourself, and it's only gonna keep you feeling bad, depressed, anxious, and I guess sometimes angry. In this season, in your heartbreak season, you need to remember that it's not your job to be enough for someone else. It's your job to be 100% you at all times and be confident in being who you are. Take the time to remember that grief comes in waves. Heartbreak, heartache, dealing with a breakup, it's grieving. You're grieving the loss of a loved one, someone that you thought you may spend the rest of your life with, someone that you spent every day with outside of your work life, right? Someone who you laid your head next to and woke up next to the next day. You need to allow yourself to feel these things, feel these emotions without judgment. it's okay to feel how you're feeling. It's also important to remember that healing is not linear, right? Like I mentioned earlier, some days we're okay, and other days we're definitely not. Some days we feel effed up, right? And it's important to remember it's okay to not be okay. Remember when I said earlier, I realized that I don't actually miss them. What are you actually missing? Now, what are you, it's not what you're missing about the relationship, but it's more so, what are you actually missing, right? Some people don't like to listen to certain songs anymore because it'll remind them of an ex. I'm so glad that neither one of my spouses liked Chris Brown, because wasn't nobody ruining that experience for me, okay? Moving forward. Maybe you don't listen to a certain artist or a certain song anymore because it reminds you of your ex. Well, if that was your vibe before you were in a relationship with that person, it's okay to remember that you can reclaim these experiences back for yourself, independently, alone, by yourself, for yourself. For instance, let's say you guys started watching a show together and now you don't want to watch the show anymore because you're used to watching it with that person. Reclaim these moments back for yourself. In a lot of ways, some people only started doing things because they were with someone. So let's say your ex biked or hiked. They were active, you weren't so much active, but you did these things because you loved them, right? You like spending time with them. But now that you're out of the relationship, you find yourself missing the times where you were outdoors. Are you actually missing them? Or are you missing and longing for an activity that you actually enjoyed and that you can still do? Not only by yourself, but you can invite people that you actually do want to be around with you. You see people taking themselves out on dates. Do you miss them because, I miss, the places we used to go together? You can still do those things by yourself, for yourself. Whether that's taking yourself out for a morning coffee date, taking yourself out to dinner, to the movies, on a shopping spree. All of those things that you think that are you actually missing your ex, a lot of the times it's literally you just missing the routine of things. For me, I found myself missing coming home to a family, smelling that food was ready, whether I was hungry or not, seeing the people that I loved, feeling support, even when you don't really feel support, if you know what I mean. And if I need to dive a little deeper into that, what I mean is when you live under the same roof as someone, they are your support system. So I did have, someone that I can vent to about work, which, can be relieving, especially after a long day of work. But on the other end, I didn't always feel like my dreams or what I actually wanted to fulfill in life were supported. Like verbally, they were supported, but through action-wise, it didn't always feel that way. This heartbreak season for me, I'm able to do more of the things that I love, like play video games, read books, write my debut novel. And these are all things that sometimes I would put on the back burner, just because of the relationship that I was in, not feeling like I had enough time, not feeling like I had enough space. So I ask you again, what do you actually miss? I want you to take a moment and think about that. And you might just find out that you don't actually miss them. You might just miss, some experiences, the routine, and all of those things you can get back for yourself. Also, sometimes we're just freaking lonely. Being lonely is 100% okay. I want you to remember, one thing that I want you to take away from this video today is this too shall pass. Loneliness is temporary. When you're feeling lonely, these are all things that can be managed by you. Can be managed by, finding a new hobby. Let's say you're not ready to go back and do the things that maybe an ex introduced you to that you actually find out I actually love. Well, you can find a new hobby. You don't read, find a book. You don't write, get a pen. You don't game, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? I'm just kidding. But also, you can journal, you can socialize. I heard they got some friend apps now. I don't really know if they're for friends or for friends, but not my style, but I don't really have friends. I mean, I don't know. Maybe people call me their friend, but I'm pretty introverted and I spend a lot of time to myself. So I socialize mainly online through video games and at work, but those people aren't your friends. Those people aren't your friends. They're your coworkers, okay? They're your coworkers. I want you to remember that your lonely season, again, is temporary. But the lonely season is so necessary. And let me tell you why it's necessary. The lonely season is necessary to teach you the valuable lessons that you need to learn about yourself. This season forces you to sit with you, to realize what you want, what you don't want, what you like, what you don't like, what you absolutely will not tolerate. And yes, if you hear the little voice in the background, that is my 6 soon to be 7-year-old. He's just in there pretending that one day he'll be able to make his own videos. That's what he's pestering me about. But anyway, again, this is your season to sit with yourself. This is the chance for you to reconnect with yourself and understand who you are without a partner, right? Who you are without a spouse, who you are without being in a relationship. And that's important. It's important to take the time for yourself to heal because you deserve it. Again, this is your time to sit with you. It's your time to figure out who you are outside of a relationship, to figure things out about yourself without being someone else's partner. Because the truth is, we lose ourselves in love sometimes. And now is the time that you get to find your way back. I mean, ask yourself, what do you actually love? What do you really love? Not what you guys did together, not the things that they introduced you to, but you. What lights you up? What are some things that you haven't done in years just because life got in the way? For me, I stopped writing just for the sake of writing. I stopped dancing around the house to the music that I actually loved. I stopped sitting alone with myself and just being happy being me. And when I started doing those things again, I realized I didn't miss them. What I was actually missing was me. So the last thing I want to go ahead and discuss that I really do feel like will help you get through this season of heartbreak is having gratitude for your ex. And I know. Gratitude for my ex? The hell? Fuck them, right? No, I completely get it, but listen, I felt the same way. But gratitude isn't saying, thank you for fucking breaking my heart. It's recognizing what the experience taught you. It's recognizing what it revealed to you about yourself. How did you grow in ways that you otherwise wouldn't have grown? Because believe it or not, the people who hurt us shape us. And instead of carrying all of that resentment, I'd rather carry the lessons, take the clarity, take the knowledge that I deserve the type of love that I'm seeking and that I will not tolerate the type of love that I was getting ever again. So yes, I can say thank you for showing me my worth. I can say thank you for making it clear that I want this in love and that I will never tolerate that again. And thank you for being the lesson that is preparing me for the love that is specifically meant for me, the type of love that I actually deserve. And no, you don't have to write a thank you letter to your ex. I mean, you could keep it in a journal, but you don't have to give it to them. But be grateful for what it taught you about you. Once you have that shift in mindset, you actually start to feel lighter, and that pain doesn't own you anymore. And you actually start to realize that you don't have to carry all of that into your next chapter. I have just one more thing before I let you go, because I really need for you to hear this. Never, ever, never, ever beg someone to see your worth. Never beg someone to love you in the way that you deserve to be loved. Never shrink yourself down just so you can fit into someone else's life. If they can't see your value, that's their loss, not yours. You are enough, exactly as you are, heartbreak and all. And if you can't see that yet, that's okay. Don't worry. You just keep showing up for yourself, and one day you finally will. I want to go ahead and open up the comments down below. Whether you're 30 or not, how have you dealt with heartbreak? And what lessons has that taught you about yourself? Again, as always, I appreciate you so much for being here. It took a bunch of takes to go ahead and get this video out. My phone storage kept being like, "Nyeh, nyeh, 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 nyeh." So, I love you. And I'm sending you the greatest love. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.